young woman named Ruth was a college student living alone. Back then, there were no cell phones, so people used landlines. One evening, while Ruth was studying in her room, the phone rang. When she picked up, she heard a man's breathless voice. "I'm watching you." At first, Ruth thought it was a prank and hung up. But the calls continued for weeks. The man described what she was wearing when she left the house and even mentioned walking inside her home. She was terrified but went to the police. They dismissed it, saying, "These things happen. It's probably just a stalker." Change your number. Ruth changed her number, and for a while the calls stopped. But the truly horrifying event happened next. One night, Ruth was asleep in her bed. Suddenly, she woke up to the sound of soft footsteps coming from the attic. Someone was walking above her. But who could it be? She lived alone, frozen with fear. She thought about staying calm and calling the police. Slowly, she picked up the phone and started dialing. But at that exact moment, a voice came through the receiver. "Do you want me to come down?" Ruth screamed and ran out of the house, banging on her neighbor's door. When the police arrived and searched the attic, they found something disturbing: a small living space. There were old blankets, food wrappers, and a hole. The hole had a direct view into Ruth's bedroom. The stalker had been living in her attic for weeks, watching her and terrorizing her over the phone. The man was caught soon after, but from that day on, Ruth vowed never to live alone again. A 57-year-old man named Tatsuo lived alone in a small apartment. One day, strange things started happening in his home. Food kept disappearing from his fridge, his belongings were being moved, and at night he would hear strange noises. At first, he thought he was just being forgetful. Maybe he hadn't bought the food he thought he had. Maybe he had misplaced his things. But as the days passed, the strange events became more frequent. One day, he noticed that his TV was on even though he was sure he had turned it off. But the scariest moment came one night when he was lying in bed and heard something terrifying. The sound of someone breathing. He was supposed to be alone. Terrified, Tatsuo called the police. Officers arrived and searched the entire apartment, but found nothing. However, he was insistent. "Someone is living with me." The police decided to take him seriously and installed hidden cameras inside his apartment to monitor any unusual activity. And the next day, when they reviewed the footage, they discovered something truly horrifying. A woman was crawling out of his closet. She would wait until Tatsuo was asleep or had left the apartment, then sneak out, eat from his kitchen, and returned to the closet before he noticed. When the police searched the apartment again, they finally found her hiding in the upper shelf of the closet. She had been living there for a whole year. The woman was homeless and had secretly entered his home one day. She had gotten comfortable and simply never left. When the police arrested her, she simply said, "I had gotten used to living here. I didn't want to leave." Tatsuo, in complete shock, vowed never to live alone again and moved out of the apartment.